Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kathryn. I'm so glad you joined me today. In today's video, I'm just going to be talking with you about change. The subject of change is a really scary one for most of us, and I just want to encourage you today that there's a process and you can enjoy the process of change and how I have learned to do this, and I'm still learning to do this. So I want to share with you guys a definition of change that I found while I was just kind of searching things out for myself over the last few months. The definition of change that I like was to replace something with something else. And I know that sounds really simple, change, to replace something with something else. Duh. But if it's not that simple, to change is to replace something with something else. But in the middle, there's a process to go from this something to this something else. And the process is the scary part. The process is the part that most of us don't enjoy. That's why we say we don't like change. And that was why I said I didn't like change for so long. It wasn't until I decided that the pain of staying the same was greater than the pain of change that I actually decided change had to come and started making steps towards change, because we are creatures of habit. We love to do the same thing. We will do the same thing even if we don't enjoy it for way too long. It's not necessarily because we don't want to change maybe, but we don't know how, and it's scary. And so we don't. And that was me for a really long time. I wanted to change, but I really wasn't sure what that even looked like, or how does that work, or how do I change? And I'm not just talking about physical changes like you're moving from one job to the other. There's a process of change in that too, where when you go from one job to another, even if it's the same position, you still have to find out where the paper clips are and where your desk is and who the new people are. There's still a process that you have to go through in order to get from what you used to know to what you now know as your new norm. So how do we make change less scary and get there without being miserable the whole time? Like, that's really been something I've been searching out over this last year, and I've just been learning so much about myself in the process. So I just wanted to share this with you guys, and I hope that it encourages you today that, you know what, you're not alone in the struggles of life, and you're not. We all have the same struggles. Your story might be different and it's gonna look different. We all face the same battles at some point in our life. I am definitely a results-oriented person. When I think I wanna do something, I just am automatically already there in my head. I'm already at the end. I don't think about the process. I just think, hey, I want to be over here, and then I wish I could snap my fingers and it would automatically happen. Like, I would just go from where I am to where I want to be without the pain of the process, because there is some pain in the process. The pain is only because it's uncomfortable, that kind of pain. Like if you ever wore an itchy sweater, you're like, oh, this is itchy and uncomfortable. I mean, it's not like gonna, you know, stab you and make you bleed pain, but it's itchy, uncomfortable, it's painful. You don't want to wear that sweater again, maybe. So that's kind of the way it has been with me with change and getting to the end of wherever it is I want to be. Instead of enjoying the process, because change is a process, I have just tried to put my head down and run straight through without learning anything, getting all the way to the end and being like, woo, I've arrived, and then I really didn't learn anything, so the change won't be lasting, because whatever change I actually did get to wasn't the full extent of what I needed. And so I'm kind of having to backtrack and go, okay, wait a minute, I missed this, I have to pick this up along the way. Hold on, let me go back here and get this. I forgot. Oh, I didn't learn that part. It's an even bigger pain to run through the process of change without actually learning anything in the middle, okay? So I want to encourage you guys, if you've made a decision to change some habits in your life, maybe like get rid of some old habits that weren't serving you well anymore, and you want to replace those with some new habits that are healthy or better for you, or just different in general. Maybe you just want to be different in some area, or you want to think differently about something. In order to get to the end result, instead of obsessing about the end result, obsess about the process. Obsess about enjoying the process. Obsess about learning all that you need to learn in the process, because eventually you will get to the end result, whatever that is, if your focus is on the process and not on the end result the entire time. So instead of focusing on all of a sudden I want to be a certain weight, I just started focusing on the little things that I needed to change in the process, like making sure I drink enough water, I'm sleeping enough, which I don't actually do that very much because I have a toddler and sometimes he keeps me up late at night, but making sure I'm trying to go to bed at an earlier time instead of staying up and doing all the things I didn't get done during the day, which I have a really bad habit of. I'm working on changing that right now. Or eating every 2 to 3 hours and not getting so busy that I forget to take care of myself. So there's things that I'm trying to change to get to this end result, but I'm not rushing through it to get to the end this time. I'm taking my time and learning in the process and actually making changes that are going to stick with me for the long haul. So when you're trying to make changes, any kind of changes, I just encourage you to be patient with yourself, give yourself grace, and do whatever it takes to enjoy the journey, enjoy your life, enjoy those around you, because we're not really promised tomorrow. All right, we're also not promised that our camera batteries won't die in the middle of filming. So that's just what happened to me. So now I'm using my iPhone if it looks a little bit different, but I gotta finish this for you guys. What I was saying before my awesome battery died on my camera was just that it's really important to enjoy your life while you have it to live, and go ahead and work towards those goals for change, whatever that looks like, but enjoy your life, enjoy your now. And don't think that you have to wait to get to the end in order to be complete or happy, or feel like if I only had this, or if I was only that way, I would be happy and everything in my life would be 100% better and great, or I'd feel this way about myself. For me, it's never been the case. When I am running to attain a goal or change of any kind in my life, when I get to the end, I haven't learned anything in the process, and haven't really changed any internal habits or changed my thinking about things. Maybe I just changed some external things. I'm still at the end of it thinking, I just wasted a lot of time. And I end up going back to where I was before because I didn't learn the things I should have learned in the process. So, the process is where the magic is, just taking time to enjoy the process, even if it doesn't seem so enjoyable, even if it is a little bit hard because it's different and it's scary because it's unknown. You can do it if you just look at it in little pieces instead of looking at the big picture. Because say you have 100 pounds to lose and you look all the way to the end, that 100-pound goal. If you're focused on that the whole time, it's eventually going to get overwhelming, because that big goal at the end is all you're focused on, instead of focusing on the little things along the way, the little changes that we need to make in our lives in order to see the big goal come, to fruition in our life and be like the new norm for us. We are gonna have to change some things in the process, some little things along the way. I've been following somebody on YouTube for a little while who's on a weight loss journey, and her weight loss journey, it's a big goal. She has a really big goal at the end. I think it's like 300-pound weight loss journey. And I love watching her. I love her perspective, and I love seeing how she just takes time to go from one step to the other without trying to focus the whole time on the big goal at the end, the 300 or a 350-pound weight loss, or it's a big weight loss goal. I can't remember the number because she doesn't focus on it, but I know about it. I remember hearing about her end result goal, and I really enjoy watching her because she just focuses on a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time. She focuses on a couple pounds at a time. She focuses on changing little things. She focuses on walking a 1/4 of a mile instead of trying to run a 3-mile race like right out the door. She focuses on little tiny steps, and it's not microwave instant change where we just snap our fingers and see it happen, which is what most of us want and what most of us want to watch. We want to watch, oh, it's this instant, but it's really not instant. There's something that's sacrificed in the middle. Even if it is an instant change or seemingly quick change, there's a sacrifice of something that's been made in the middle, and ultimately we're going to have to go back and pick it up. Nobody wants to spend all that time or energy or effort to get to an end result just to have to do it again and again, like I've done so many times in my weight loss journey, for instance, or with a mindset habit that I think a limiting belief about myself, and I think, okay, I'm just gonna think this other thing over here, and then I just automatically feel like it should happen, but it doesn't. It's a process. I have to remind myself daily, speak that over myself daily. I have to write, journal about that. I have to think. I have to spend time thinking about the new mindset that I'm trying to rewire my brain with. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just, okay, I'm gonna do this and now it's done. I don't just decide and then get to the end. And unfortunately, that's how I really have spent most of my life trying to make changes, is decide, and then all of a sudden I should feel like I should be there. So what are some changes that you guys are trying to make in your life right now? Are you trying to change some health habits? Are you trying to change some mindset, self-sabotaging thoughts? Are you trying to change jobs? Are you trying to move? What are you changing in your life? And it doesn't have to be as big as just like, hey, I'm moving across the world and anything. Like, what is your change right now? What does change look like to you? Let us know. We'd love to encourage you along the way. I would love to encourage encourage you along the way. And we have a great community of subscribers here on this channel that encourage one another, reach out to one another in the comment section. I love seeing some people's like little threads of conversations with one another, and they're like, you got this, girl. And somebody else is like, I'm having a bad day. And they just reach out to one another that way. And I love you guys for being that way. So I just want to thank you for being the best subscriber community I think anybody on YouTube has. I'm just gonna take that for myself. You guys are it. And thank you, by the way, for subscribing to my channel. And if you haven't already, you definitely want to do that so that you will be in the know when I upload videos weekly. So if you guys just want a place to be encouraged to be the healthiest version of yourself inside and out, just click subscribe. You got nothing to lose, and you'll be part of our subscriber community here. I want to leave you with this call to action that I think is so important, because it's what's helped me get over the mindset of like, see it, want it, do it now, to, okay, I see it over there, but now I'm gonna focus on what it's gonna take in the process to get to that, instead of focusing on just the goal or the end result. I'm gonna obsess about the process. So what does that look like? Grab a sheet of paper or grab your phone in your notes section of your phone and just write down 3 things, just 3, that you want to change, whether they're big in your mind or small in your mind. Don't compare your change to anyone else's change. So whatever the change looks like, just write down those 3 things that you want to change, and then write out beside it 4 or 5 things that you know that you're gonna need to start doing differently, or start doing period if you're not doing them at all, in order to accomplish that change. So if it is a mindset shift, if you're thinking, I just want to start to love myself more, maybe some of your steps could be to go to the Word of God and find out what He says about you first. That's a great step. Maybe another step would just be to start looking at yourself in the mirror every day and thanking God for whatever it is about your body that you do like, or whatever it is about yourself, your personality that you do like. If you can't find anything, you can start thanking God that He created your body to stand upright, that you have eyelashes to keep the dirt out of your eyes. You can thank Him for nose hair to keep the junk from the air flying up into your nostrils. I don't know. I know it's silly and it's probably gross, but you can find something, whatever it is. Start small. Seriously, if you have to start there, go ahead. And once you figure out what the Word says about you, what God says about who you are and how much He loves you, you start writing those things down on your bathroom mirror, in your car, on a sticky note, on the dashboard, put it on your lock screen of your phone, see it, put it everywhere. And then not just see it, but start to say those things out loud. You're gonna see a shift, you're gonna see a change. The love that you have for yourself is going to start to increase, because you're gonna start looking at the truth of the Word versus what the world says about you, or what they say you should be or look like or whatever, in order to have love and acceptance. And then, you know, just go through those other 2 things and finish making sure that you write down some small steps that you're gonna take in order to achieve that goal in the end. If you need help with that, reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you guys through that. You can also follow me on Instagram, and you can DM me there and, you know, get more personal if you want to. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to hearing about what changes you're gonna be making in your life.
Look to the left, look to